Welcome to another Football Manager experiment on Boss United FM. This time we're going to look and see how Boss United will do when their owner, David Newton, is given Tycoon status. Let's see how they spend the money of a sugar daddy. Okay, well the first thing we can notice that they are now in the Vanarama National League in third place. We'll have a look at some more details into that shortly. Looking at the graph, I can see plenty of National League seasons in there. Let's take a look at the competitions and domestic leagues. So yeah, ever since that first season of finishing second, winning the playoffs, getting into Vanarama National, they've been there ever since. Mid-table for several seasons, is that 19th position finishes in a row, then a 6th, and then 2 second place finishes, and then this year with 3rd. So there's been definitely some progress on the pitch. If we have a look back at the information there, still in the community stadium, which comes in a year into the game. There's been no capacity increase on there, so the owner hasn't chucked money at the stadium. Probably hasn't needed to. Current manager Andy Dawson. And if we then take a look at the managers, so Craig Elliott lasted until March 2022, then got sacked, replaced by John Mullin, who lasted almost 2 years. Then Russell Martin lasted 201 days. He did win a cup, so he won the FA Trophy. He took over in March, then took United to winning the trophy at Wembley. And then Andy Dawson, who's the manager currently in charge, he's been there for over 4 years, nearly 5 years, and he's also won the trophy. So there's definite progress on the pitch. Let's have a look at some landmarks. Okay, so a year into the game, they turned professional, they moved to the new stadium. Then Neil Kempster scales down his funding. So Neil Kempster is down as the owner in the game, with David Newton as the chairman. So it's seeing that Neil Kempster's the one putting the money in, but he's then withdrawn his sugar daddy status in May 2023. But then almost a year to the day later, they win the FA Trophy. Then 2 years later, David Newton leaves the club to be replaced by Simon Griffiths. He then doesn't last too long, as a fans trust then take over the club. New chairman Sam Chappell. And then that looks to be the last financial change. And then in 2029, they have just won the FA Trophy. So let's have a look at the current season, see how the playoff campaign has gone. And they've just lost in the playoff final to FC United. Extra time at Wembley. Bit of a disappointment there. Let's have a look at the previous season, which I believe was also a playoff campaign, losing out to Spennymoor in the playoff semi-final. Let's have a look at the first season, because that was another playoff campaign. Beating Brackley at home and then York at home. Obviously finishing second place, you just need to win the 2 home games to go up. And that's what's happened. Beating York, thanks to Jordan Fulis and Ben Middleton, in front of 4,266 at York Street. So we have a look at the current table. So there's the playoff final there. Look at the league table, finishing 3rd. So FC United finished 6th and ended up going up. Looking at some other clubs in there, got Kingstonian, who have clearly been promoted up some divisions. South Shields are up there. Bradford City in the National League. And then Stevenage, Spennymoor, Eastleigh and Dover are being relegated. Just have a quick look at the Premier League just to see what's happened. And blimey, Chelsea, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 division titles in a row. Arsenal went in it the first year, and then City have won the last 2. Lots of Liverpool, Man City, Man United in the 2nd and 3rd. So Chelsea, after their several in a row, then finished twice in 2nd. Just have a quick look at the FA Cup. So Chelsea have, whilst they've not won the league the last 2 years, they have then won the cup without winning the cup whilst winning the league. So they basically get one or the other. Bournemouth and Wolves chipping in there. Everton getting the second season FA Cup. If we have a look at the Champions League, and we'll just look at the past winners. So Chelsea have won it a couple of times. Liverpool the same, with another one more recently, beating Manchester United at Old Trafford. Been very dominated by English clubs. Several times it's been two English clubs in the final. Spurs get into the first Champions League final to repeat their previous season feat of runners-up. And we'll just have a quick look at England just to see if they've done anything of note. We'll just have a quick scroll through. So European Championship final in 2020, losing to France. World Cup semi-final, finishing third, losing to France again in a competitive tournament. Skip for 2024, losing to a semi-final into Spain. Some qualifiers, then winning the World Cup against Spain in 2026. It does seem that the current young crop of England players coming through in real life are then topping out in 2026 to win the World Cup, having beaten Tunisia, Australia, Peru, Russia, Turkey, Cameroon and then Spain. So no great opponents until the final, with England being 3-1 up at half time all the way through to the 90th minute. Phil Foden scoring in the final alongside Harry Kane and Jadon Sancho. And as we skip forward to 2028, losing to Turkey on penalties in the Stadio Olimpico. Mason Mount being the unlucky person. Okay, so it seems that a Tycoon status definitely gives Boss United a bit of a foothold in the game. Definite progression on the pitch. And since losing the money, they've actually won the FA Trophy twice. A couple of days out at Wembley. 2 Wembley visits in this season thanks to the FA Trophy win. But all in all, fairly positive. Thank you very much for watching.